Hi everybody, welcome to another video, quite a quick one this, only about 7 minutes long. ANI F160 in 1.3 doing Clearcoat Upol 2080, which is a relatively cheap Clearcoat we can get here in the UK and in Europe, with a fast hardener. Now I've entitled the video something like trying for a flat finish, because I'm trying to get it as flat as possible. This tank originally was one I did in silver for myself for a project. I never got around to doing much with it, and somebody offered me a good price for the tank, but they wanted it black. So I did another video with the Kiwami 4 doing the base coat and the undercarriage of the tank in a matte black. So the upshot of it is a matte black on the inside, or satin black really rather than matte, and as flat as I can get it on the outside, which is where we are now. So to get a flat finish, you've really got to know your products really, because if you put too much on, you're going to get a lot of runs. Not the end of the world, but not really what you want. But you can also get a solvent pop. Now the cheaper clear coats like this are more prone to it. I use some other clear coats as well, which are better quality, and they are definitely less prone to it. So I'm quite used to using this. So what I would say is, if you are going to go try for a really flat finish, get yourself a good quality clear coat, because you'll find that it runs less, it runs out better, and by that I mean, you know, when you spray it, obviously there's loads of small little specks of paint, or in this case clear, and they'll run into each other, and that's how you get your flat finish really. So you need to be able to put on as much as you can without getting the runs, and allow it to flow out. But you don't want to overdo it, because if you overdo it, you'll get solvent pop, which is small little bubbles, and they might not look like you've done it straight away, but after half an hour, maybe an hour, 2 hours, you start to get these little small bubbles effectively in the clear. It's where the solvent is trying to get out from underneath, because you put so much on, it's gone off over the top and the solvent hasn't come out underneath, if that makes sense. So I always try to make the clear as warm as possible. You'll see that on my various videos. I've done one that shows you warming the clear coat up. So that's quite important, because it allows it to run out. Temperature today was about 15 degrees Celsius, so I put some heat into the tank via an IR lamp and a hot air gun. And when I say put heat into the tank, I mean I heated the tank up, so that when you put the clear on, you're putting a warm clear on a warm tank, if that makes sense. Try not to heat it up straight away. Well, don't heat it up straight away afterwards is my advice, because all you're doing is sealing over that top, and you get more of a chance for run. So get the heat into what you're doing first, and the heat into the clear coat, and it should take care of itself. And then once the clear coat's tacked off, you can put a bit more heat in if you want to, or if you feel that it's okay, just go for your second coat. I put the settings on the gun, but effectively what I'm using is 3.5 turns out, which is nearly full fluid, and then full fluid on the second one. I think this is about 4.5 turns out for full fluid. So it's about, you know, just over 2/3 fluid and then full fluid. And you can see this thing is a real pump. It's an absolute hose, and it's ideal for doing something like this, but you can overdo it. If you're not careful, you can overdo it and you'll get runs. But you know, I really like using this gun. I used to have I still have got an FLG. I bought it back, an FLG5, and the FLG5 is a great gun, and I had it for quite a few years. And if you use it on its own, it's perfect. You think, cracking gun. Great for now they make it in 1.3 as well. Great for clear, great for base, etc. It's only when you use the F160 next to it, or when I did a comparison video on it, that you notice that this thing it seems to atomize better. It will lay clear flatter if you want that. It will lay base flatter. It just seems to be a better gun. It might not last as long, but you know, it seems to be a better gun as far as use-wise goes. Certainly, the way I paint and the materials I use anyway, it seems to work much better than the FLG5. Not taking anything away from the FLG5, it is a good gun, but it just seems to be better. So if you are trying for a finish like this, then just remember those few things I said. It's a real, you know, you wouldn't expect to do this straight off the bat, really. You'd want to practice and practice so that you get used to how much to put on without overdoing it. So, I mean, I've been doing this for a few years now and using this material for a few years. So the gun doesn't make a huge deal of difference. Some are nicer to use than others. Like for this job, this was an ideal gun for doing it because it puts quite a lot of material on. So it means you can keep a reasonable speed. But if you are thinking about doing something like this, get used to your products and get used to your guns on something before you actually tackle what you're meaning to do, because it's you know, it's not simply just put more fluid on, because you will end up in a mess. But I think you'll agree it came out really, really nice. Perfect brief for the chap who bought the tank. As I say, originally it was for me. It wasn't going to be something that I was going to sell, but the opportunity came up, so I took it, really. All right, guys, well, thanks for watching the video. It's only been a short one, but I didn't have much time to edit anything, really, so I thought I'd get this done. All right, guys, thank you. Bye-bye.